Hey folks, there you are. My name is Kurt Von Onen. I'm here with the Ask Us Anything call today for LifterLMS. Be here for the next, hour or so. Emily Middleton is joining the studio now. So, Emily, happy Thursday to you.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday indeed. Folks, if you're new here, you're going to want to put your questions into the chat. We simulcast this out to multiple social channels. And so if you're seeing us live now, you want to go ahead and add your questions or comments to chat. I also encourage you just to introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from. You'll notice as we go through the roll call here, there's some people that come on a regular basis, and we pretty much give them a shout out whenever we see them. It's always fun to have them. A couple of other things before we get started on questions and answers. One, like I said, is ask the question in the chat. So there's that, but there's also a 55% discount for coming to this show. So LifterLMS.com/AMA-gift is the URL. So 55% off is at LifterLMS.com/AMA-gift. But I think it's important to recognize that LifterLMS can be implemented at no charge. So we start out with a coupon and we say, hey, get 55% off. But we do have the LifterLMS core plugin. You can get that at the LifterLMS.com. You can download it for free, or you can go to your WordPress repository through your website. Go to plugins, add new, search LifterLMS and install it. And it's free, right? And so for free, you can do membership management, you can do course development, you can really run a functional, especially for an internal training corporate website. The LifterLMS free version works great. And then there's other tools that we discuss here on the show. We talk about groups, advanced quizzes, custom fields. I mean, there's all these other add-ons where you might want your website to do something additional, and that's where LifterLMS really shines with its add-ons, and that's what the 55% off coupon is for, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. If you wanted to try LifterLMS with all of the available add-ons to see, hey, what works, what doesn't work, go to LifterLMS.com/try, LifterLMS.com/try. And I put something new in the media assets today, Emily. I actually went through and I made the LifterLMS.com QR code. So there's our LifterLMS.com QR code, pops up in the upper left-hand corner. You can scan that, take you right to LifterLMS.com. If you're watching this on mobile, especially, you just click, and so you don't have to mess with the keyboard. Let's dive in. Gary, welcome. It's good to see you from Manitoba. So Gary's with us pretty much on the week, every week, right? Delphine, a coworker. Gary's also here from Merritt, British Columbia, Canada. And can't encourage you folks enough, as you join the call, if you want to put a comment, let us know where you're from, and just slap that in comments and put in a question. That would be great. Emily, what you up to this week?
I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, on my way down to Texas. So I was driving for like 12 hours yesterday, and after we get off, I'll be driving for more hours today. But yeah, I'm just at an Airbnb, very artistic. They got like a lot of, you can't really see art stuff over there, but
yeah,
really cool sculptures.
Albuquerque is one of the most interesting places I've lived. I lived there for 7 years. So what part of Albuquerque are you in? West side, east side?
I don't know.
Are you close to the mountain?
I can't see a mountain, but I was asleep like the last couple hours when we got here in the car. So
yeah, there's some amazingly cool things there, and there's some amazingly cool food there. There's some really good food, especially if you like Hatch Green chili. But the Sandia Mountain that is there, right? So it's a mountain, and it's called the Sandia. And do you know what Sandia means?
No.
So it looks like watermelon. At sunset, the whole mountain turns like this bright watermelon color. And it's one of the prettiest sunsets that you could see. The sun sets on the west, but the mountain is on the east, and it's the reflection of the sunset against the mountain that makes it a really cool color. And the Indians named it after a watermelon. See, I'm full of worthless information. All right. Have you gone? So you didn't see the mountain. So you didn't go up the mountain yet. It's got a cable car. You can take a cable car up as a tourist thing, but it's like an $80 cable ride, so it's expensive. But you can drive up the other side of it, and then when you get to the top of the mountain, you can go to the overlook. You can see the whole city.
That's cool.
It's a pretty cool thing. It's a pretty cool thing. There's some cool things there. There's also like on the west side of town is like this crazy looking pyramid thing. It's like on the southwest side of town. It's a public park. You can just hike in. It's like a mile and a half maybe to hike in on the trail and get to like the pyramid. It's pretty cool. I'm full of worthless information. I started Mañana No Mas in Albuquerque. So I used to work at a place called the South Valley Economic Development Center. And when you get there, it's a beautiful building and it has a commercial kitchen in it. And one of the things I liked about working out of that building was that commercial kitchen, because I got to sample all kinds of cool, like homemade food. But the building had a giant mural on it that was Cesar Chavez, and he's of notable reputation in the area. Lots of Cesar Chavez fans that live there. So, all right, MRND Clothing just jumped in with us here. I'm going to make sure I turn off that banner too, by the way. It says, I started my website on WordPress, LifterLMS, but I don't know how to use it. I feel blocked. That's kind of a big deal, to be honest with you. We do everything we can to try and make people not feel blocked. So this call is one of those examples. We have the Ask Us Anything call that we're doing now. We also have a full academy on the LifterLMS website. I just want to kind of go to that because for some reason, this seems to be a spot that a lot of people don't seem to get to. So I'm going to do a quick screen share right here real quick with you, MRND. And let's take a look at the LifterLMS website. So a couple of things to really grasp on the site is this search box is like Google enhanced. You can search anything and it's going to take you to somewhere in our knowledge base that's going to give you information about that. So let's say I wanted to say getting started, right? So if I say getting started and I click that into the search box, it's going to come up with our getting started content. But you'll notice right here, you can have all results, our help documentation, different blog posts, podcasts that we've made, the developer hub, the case studies. Obviously what I'm getting to is there's a lot of stuff there, but there's also courses. Okay. So you can get to that through our search box, and search will give you a bazillion options for different things. But what I wanted to show you was if we go back to the learn feature on our horizontal menu here, if we go to learn, there's one called Academy, and our Academy is built on a subdomain to LifterLMS, and a lot of people just don't seem to get here. So we've got the first 3 courses listed, but you can browse the courses, and then you'll see you have the official Quick Start course, which you could have installed during installation on your own site, but you have it here, right? The official Quick Start course. That is a great way to get started and see how some of the features work with your installation and setup and all of that. We have, if you're new to WordPress, which happens, right? We had an assumption that people knew WordPress before they installed Lifter. And then over the years, we've just found that a lot of people may have come to Lifter and then had to get WordPress to get Lifter, right? And so we have a WordPress tutorial for beginners for LifterLMS. And then as you get rolling down the pathway of making your own website and using LifterLMS, we've got different things, right? So how to make a master class, how affiliate marketing works, how to use ChatGPT to make a class, assignments, how to promote your class, all that's there. And God forbid you actually were advanced in e-learning, you might be using SCORM content. And if you're using SCORM content, we have a tutorial on how to make SCORM work inside your LifterLMS website. And so we do quite a bit on the training side to get people up to speed and get them moving. And if you haven't, Karam, great. So my name is Karam. So if you haven't jumped into the academy yet, that's one of the first things I would say to do. I mean, I get it. Everyone's got a different learning style. Some people really do well with the printed word, and so going through the knowledge base and looking up features or looking up things through the knowledge base. For some people, that seems to work really well, but I tend to think that most people do better with video, right? Video and walking through steps. And our academy, all of our courses give you the ability to kind of see an example and walk through it and hear it as you go. Not only that, but Emily and I are here to answer specific questions. So Karam, if you were feeling blocked and you were like, I don't get it, how do I turn on a setting? How do I once had a customer, this is just like an anecdotal thing, but I once had a customer install LifterLMS, and on like that first settings page, you can restrict a website to membership, right? And so they had clicked that initially thinking that they were protecting the website from being seen while they developed the website. But then what had happened was 3 months, 4 months, 6 months later, they went to show the website to a friend, and they're like, yeah, your website doesn't work. And they like freaked out thinking that LifterLMS had broke and the website didn't display and all this stuff. And it turned out it was just this tick box in the first settings page. So there's things that you can do in your LifterLMS setup. And every use case is different. So Karam, if you have specific questions, I would encourage you, put a question in now. No question is too silly, too stupid, too whatever for us to address on this call. So that would be awesome. I'm kind of jealous now that you're in Albuquerque.
You jealous?
I'm a little jealous. I bet you it's probably 85 degrees there and sunny, but not hot. It's like a weird not hot. Like it's not humid. You're just enjoying like the vitamin D is amazing, and you should be hot, but you're not hot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. First time I rode a bicycle at any length there, I can remember I rode like 80 miles, and I was like, I'm still dry. Like this is nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta stay hydrated though.
That is important. That is super important there. Are you going to stay for any length of time, or you're just going to drive straight through to Texas?
Just driving straight through.
I don't know why you get Airbnb for that kind of stuff, because you could have just stayed at like a motel. You could have slept in a rest stop for free.
I know.
Yeah.
It's nice to kind of like see a few places on the way down, mark some places we might want to return to. Like this place is really dope because we could come back here. We have a pool, a hot tub. Then we're sleeping in like a glamping tent over there with like a fan and a bunch of beds.
All right, I'm gonna try and look it up. It's not Stackers. It's not Rex's. It's not. Okay, so Blake's Lotta Burger is like a cultural favorite. But I was looking for it'll come to me. It'll come to me in a little bit, because you like burgers, right?
I do.
There's a burger place. I went to church with the guy that opened it, and you order the burger from a paper bag. So it's a paper bag, and it says I want a burger, and then you check off the things you want on the bag, and then you pick you want sweet potato fries or regular fries, and then they put the fries on this drill, and it goes like through a machine, and that's your thing for fries, and it's like fresh cut French fries. So it's a really good burger and really good French fries. It's on Central Avenue on the west side of town is where it was. And I don't think it's called Stackers, because I did a quick search and there was Stackers came up, but it wasn't Stackers. It'll come to me. I'll share it with you. Phenomenal burger. You got to get it. You got to get a cheeseburger with green chili while you're there, because that's like the thing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So Karam came back, by the way, and he said, thank you so much. I didn't know about the Academy. Hired someone on Fiverr to make my WordPress website, LifterLMS, and got scammed for $200. Karam, I wish I could tell you that that's a surprise. It's not a surprise. We have now you got me doing like commercials, Karam. This is bad. But myself and Emily, we're part of the experts listing on LifterLMS, and I really encourage people, like, hire an expert, right? So I put it down there in the banner that's going back and forth. And you want to, whenever possible, you want to hire people that have a working, demonstrable knowledge and a track record. And let's just be honest, a reputation with something to lose. People on Fiverr, they don't have to worry about their reputation or anything to lose. They can just sign up a new user account on Fiverr and rip off the next 5 people. I hate to sound so negative, but I've heard a lot of bad stories about like looking for Fiverr or any of these other kinds of like freelance race to the bottom kind of things. Because here's the truth of it. The truth of it, Karam, is I'm not going to build your website for $200, right? We're probably going to have a discussion for a multiple of $200. But when we're done, our agency is going to give you a website that works, that's stable, that uses, licensed plugin products and things like that. And so when you work with an expert from LifterLMS, you're probably not going to get a $50 service or a $100 service or a $200 service, but you're going to have something when you're done that is going to be representative of what you're looking to grow your business off of. So yeah, the thing to remember is WordPress is free. LifterLMS is free, from the core plugin perspective. And so quite literally, if you have the sweat equity and the time to learn how to use these tools, you could do it for very little out of pocket. Like you could get just decent hosting, 15, 20 bucks a month on some kind of, quasi-competitive hosting platform. Load up WordPress, load up LifterLMS, go to the Academy at Lifter. If you go to the Academy, you're going to get some really great instruction on the basics of WordPress, how to get LifterLMS started and start building your course. To me, the minimal viable product is a great focus. So what's the minimal thing I need to be able to present my idea to other people and see if I'm either going to generate, like maybe you're going to do group sales and sell your course to organizations to give to their people. That's one way. Maybe you're going to build a course and sell it to individuals one by one. That's another way. But however you choose to grow your online learning business, Lifter's there to be set up and work within that frame set. Oh, Steve Horn is with us. Here we go. Steve Horn, if I want to install LifterLMS with EtchWP, should I just join Etch's inner circle? How valuable is their inner circle? Oh, well, you're kind of taking me off the LifterLMS messaging here, Steve, which is fine. For now. But now there's people that are new that are like, what is Etch and what is Steve talking about? So Etch, for those that are new to the space, Etch is just another page builder. For page builders, you have WordPress, and you can edit your website in WordPress, like right out of the box, WordPress. And so there's the WordPress editor. But some people want to up the game. Some people want to have more freedom in their design. And so you'll hear people talk about tools like Beaver Builder, Divi, Cadence, Spectra. So you hear these different tools being mentioned. Etch is one of those tools. But Etch is more like Elementor or Divi in a way that like it's the page builder that runs the whole thing. Like now we're not leveraging really WordPress at all, right? We're going into the Elementor builder. We're going into the Etch builder to build pages within our website. Totally fine. Can you add LifterLMS with EtchWP? Yes, I've already done it. So using Lifter with Etch is not a problem, Steve. You can do that. You can build templates with Etch, and then you can assign those templates to your course and lesson pages. And I've gone through the basics of it. I haven't gone deep yet, but I've gone through the basics of it, and it all seems to work just fine. Okay, so that part's cool. The second part of your question, the inner circle. If you have access to Etch, and you are creative and you are an explorer by nature, then you might learn better on your own. Quite honestly, I think the Etch inner circle has value because there's a lot of professionals in it and they share a lot of ideas back and forth, but it's an added expense. And so if you weren't looking to pay extra money to join the inner circle, I don't think it's a requirement. It can speed the process for you, but it can also do something else. And this is where I want to be like the devil's advocate. It can also distract you from what you're trying to focus on. because you got a ton of people in that inner circle that are professionals and they're high level thinkers in a lot of cases. Not every case, but in a lot of cases. A lot of them use critical thinking. And so they go down these pathways of high level thought. And if you're not careful, like you're trying to focus on how do I build a LifterLMS website using Etch? So maybe you're focused on that. But then you get into the inner circle and these guys are trying to help, but they're posting, hey, I created this component, I created this element, I created this over here. And you start rabbit trailing yourself, looking at all these things that everyone else is talking about in the inner circle, instead of focusing on what your goal was. And that was building a functional e-learning website using Etch to make the pages. And so to me, I have access, but I don't use it that much. I really don't. Kevin's inner circle is informative and there's a lot of cool stuff in there, but I am really busy on the 5 podcasts a week that I'm on and growing my agency and doing my public speaking stuff. And so I really don't have that extra bandwidth to jump into to see what interests me, in the inner circle, because I do find that it can be quite a distraction. So hopefully that was a straightforward enough answer for you, Steve. I realize it's sometimes my answers seem a little ethereal, but I think that was a good one. I don't know how to do this. I'm going to have to defer to Emily. Maybe Emily knows how.
Yeah.
I'll throw it up on the screen. You know why? Because maybe someone else is going to ask us the same thing. I know that we're connected on Discord somehow. I don't know. Are we on No, we're on Twitch, but I don't know if we're on Discord. I don't know. It says,
No.
Hey, hi, mate. Hi, mate. Your stream's really pretty and cool. That is why I followed you. Would you mind adding me up on Discord? I don't think we have a Discord.
We don't.
Okay.
We don't.
And then I don't feel dumb. I felt really dumb there for a moment, Solution Sam, because I thought for sure a young person like Emily was going to go, oh no, absolutely, Kurt. We have Discord. click these 5 things and add to this server and build a server here and do this and do that. The one thing about Discord that confuses the crud out of me is I see young people that love it. I do. And I work with a lot of young people, like especially in our church. I do a college age group with like 150 kids in it. And so, these 150 kids, they all got a Discord server or a Twitch or something. And it's like, it's beyond me. I don't understand it. But, all right.
I mean, it's a lot like Slack. It's just like the server is our code box, LifterLMS internal. That would be like our server. And then all the channels are the individual Slack channels. So it can be a little confusing to navigate, but the thing is with Discord, just like Slack, you can join different channels and kind of customize your dashboard. But what makes it confusing, right, is that you can throw a bunch of servers on the same interface. And so it can get a little confusing. So it's like you got your WP Fusion Slack, you've got your Lifter Slack. It's all kind of in one place on Discord. Yeah.
Well, my Slack is looking like it's starting to look like a cable TV network. I'll tell you that. I've joined a lot of Slack channels, and I don't even enjoy Slack. So it's like, oh my goodness, I got a lot going on. Steve, thanks for the comment. I'm glad you enjoyed the perspective. It's weird. It's in a very transparent way. Because maybe people identify with this. I don't know. Because we have lots of users at Lifter that, maybe you're trying to figure out Divi or trying to figure out Elementor or trying to figure out Beaver Builder or whatever. And I understand that some people hit roadblocks in these things. I'm going to tell you, it's been months and it's not that I'm doing this, 3 hours a day. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I didn't time block even an hour a day to learn Etch. It's like I have some free time on Fridays. I have some free time on Tuesdays. And I think what happens is, somewhere between Friday and Tuesday, my brain erases what I learned on Friday. Like I go into, I don't know what my mental block is with this Etch thing. I know that Etch is, it's going to be awesome. I see people who I think are smarter than me that use it, that are doing some pretty cool things with it. I like that when I go to build an Etch, I start with a clean slate, absolutely clean, like a board with, it's like you've got a marker and you got a blank whiteboard and you can do whatever you want there. Like that's totally cool to me. Like, I think that that's awesome. My problem is even when Kevin's doing the on-screen displays, It's all right. I like dogs. When Kevin's doing the on-screen displays of like how he goes, well, this is like our drag and drop editor. This is just like using Elementor. It's not just like using Elementor, because it's got options and informational requirement to use those tools and things that I don't fully grasp or don't have a full working like definition of yet. So for example, I might go into Elementor and grab an element and drag it over to the page, and it goes poof, and then it says, so, put in the border, pick your border thickness, what radius thickness do you want, what padding, what, so you're with me, right? So if you use these tools, you're kind of tracking what I'm saying. You're going, okay, cool. But when I'm in Etch, when I go to say 2, it's 2 what? 2 pixels, 2 2%, 2, and you have to tell it that in order to get the result in the canvas of the page that you're working on. And so when I'm working in Elementor, there are default values that kind of fill that space. So whether you're an expert or not, the result on the canvas is like, you kind of look like an expert. But when you're in Etch and you put values in, there's no default value. You have to kind of like know to select that, or know to add that. And so if you don't know to add that, you don't get any result on the canvas. You can put numbers in that field and nothing pops up until you put in like a percent or an M or a dash or something. And that to me is the roadblock. For me, that's I'm like, okay, let me learn how to use Etch from like a drag and drop perspective. And then let me try and, watch what's happening in the CSS window so that I begin to get a better understanding of CSS and how CSS works. But there's a lot of people that are the development side of Etch that are more of a developer than a drag and drop person that love Etch because it automatically writes HTML and CSS while you're working within that framework. And so that's some of those more advanced users really love it for that. But I'm not in that grouping, right? So I've got a harder path as far as getting comfortable in it, and I'm having some mental roadblocks along the way. Also, what is really cool about Etch, and the reason that I signed up for Etch, because a lot of people ask me, well, you don't even use it that much, so why'd you sign up for it? We have had use cases at our agency before where we have built people websites using Elementor. And then when you hand that website over to the client and you give them administrator status to be able to make changes and do stuff to the site, which is the deal. Like with WordPress, supposedly if you own a website, you own a website, right? And so the customer goes in and they make a change to the page. They go into like the WordPress editor, make a change somewhere and click save. They break the whole website, right? All that formatting is attached to being saved in Elementor. It's not attached to being saved in WordPress. With Etch, everything you do in Etch automatically syncs to a corresponding block in the WordPress editor. So what's intriguing to me is me and my team, we can build something really cool and custom in Etch at an enterprise level for people, but that's code based, that is class based, so that like if I wanted to make a change to a card on the home page, but I want that change to happen to all the cards through every page of the website, I can make it to change once instead of having to go through each page and make that change over and over and over and over again. So I like that, but I also like that the customer in the future can just sign into the WordPress backend, change the heading, change a paragraph, change a picture, click save, and not break all the formatting in the whole website. And so that's why I signed up for it. I have yet to use it that way, but that's why I signed up for it. And with that, it looks like we're out of questions. It's over. Emily, you might as well hop in the car and get going to Texas. What's in Texas? Can you share, or you don't want to share?
I can share. Let me know as well if my internet connection breaks up.
Yeah.
It looks a little bit slow, but in Texas is Michael Wolf, LifterLMS customer.
Oh,
and the training program that he does, I've been a part of for like 2 years. And so they're doing the first meetup since I've been around. So I'm going down.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool. Going and meeting another LifterLMS user. That's a really fun way to leverage your role. My
role, like I did a bunch of traveling right? Like years ago for Lifter. But nowadays, like I haven't really been able to make it out to word camps recently. Gosh, there's a dog coming. Let's see. I'm gonna get the dog over here.
It looks like my old dog.
Huge dog.
Is his name River?
I don't know, actually.
Well, it couldn't be because my River died. But it's a good looking dog. That dog is gonna leave white hair all over that purple top.
It already has. He already has.
That is a shedding machine right there. That dog sheds 11 and a half months out of the year living in Albuquerque. That's hilarious. That's cool. You got a cool spot.
Yeah.
I love the like a lot of things down in that area like look like that, like just sticks out of the ground, some rocks, and a little bit of trees around it, and then everybody goes, "Oh, it's so pretty," but it is. There's a downtown area there, and it's like walking downtown, right? So you park, and then it's a cluster of 3 or 4 blocks of down. It's called Old Town. So you go to Old Town Albuquerque, and there's like shops where you can buy turquoise, and there's like a couple of like little tap rooms. It's like an artsy place. You would enjoy walking around down there.
Yeah.
And it's safe. You don't get like mugged. There's other parts of Albuquerque I wouldn't tell you to go to. Like there's a famous restaurant on the east side of Central Avenue called Frontier. They make tortillas fresh, like nonstop, like just boom, boom, boom. You go down there, you get like a giant burrito, but it's not like it's not a beautiful place. It's a cultural place. It's like one of the places you have to visit when you go there. You go to the Frontier restaurant.
Yeah.
Steve is being a clarifying person on the call. He's saying that Etch is an alpha and more is to come. Yeah. I don't want to turn this into an Etch commercial, but did you see Kevin's are you watching any of Kevin's stuff on Etch, Emily?
No. Kevin's demeanor is kind of annoying to me.
Yeah, sometimes he can be hard to listen to, but he's super informative.
He's very smart.
Yeah, he's smart. He knows that he's smart, and that's a distraction. So he did this demonstration on his version of his version of Etch, where it was cool with the sun behind you.
You think so? I just couldn't see the screen at all.
Oh, well then don't do that. But yeah, it was cool. It looked like the Lord was speaking behind you, like in the movies, like when the Lord comes through the clouds. Noah, build an ark.
Build a website.
Build a website. So he did an AI demonstration where AI is going to be inside Etch, and it was a use of AI in a page builder that I haven't seen before. It was really quite good. He basically said, hey, build me a 2-column hero image this big with this background picture, a heading, a subheading, and a call to action button, and click go, and it was like right there on the page. And I was like, okay, now that was pretty cool. That was cool, right? Because if you did that, you didn't have to know the stupid numbers to fill in for the drag and drop, and you didn't have to know the custom CSS. You just told the large language model, put this on the page, and it was there. So that was a pretty cool thing, but that's not in the alpha version. That's in a forthcoming version. I'm kind of excited about that, but I also dread it because I don't want AI to make me stupid when it comes to doing my work. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the reason I'm doing the deep dive on this in the first place is to get better at what you and I have talked about for years. It's not to take a shortcut and have something else do it for me. But let's go here. Mike Jennings, welcome to the call. First off, on the membership catalog page, how can I display which courses are in the membership on the same page? I'm using Bricks Builder and have a container with a query loop displaying the memberships. So that's interesting. because some people will just create their own custom element and then use a direct purchase link to a button maybe in an element on a custom catalog page. I know that Emily has done some work in YouTube on that. That wasn't in Bricks, but that was like a similar thing in the Elementor, right? Building a custom. So you would basically just build a custom tile element. That custom tile element would have a list of the courses and kind of like a summary of what the membership was. And then it would say join now, and you'd have a button, and you would use the direct purchase link to take people direct to purchase from that link. And then if you had it set up for auto enrollment, it would auto enroll as they signed up for that membership. That's typically how that would work. We don't have, well, correct me if I'm wrong, Emily, I could be wrong. But we don't have like anything that says display the courses in the membership.
No, fortunately we don't. If you're integrating with Bricks, like you said, Kurt, you might be a little more developer friendly. It is a field which courses are being auto enrolled as a part of the course on a technical level. If you were to use the inspector as a developer, use that inspector in Google Chrome. And when you're on the back end of WordPress, you can locate what the little name is called for, I think it's like LMS auto enroll courses or something like that. You might be able to use that in your query loop. I don't know Bricks too well though.
Bricks is fun. I mean, Bricks is one of the tools that we use at our agency. And it's so interesting because we had mentioned somebody earlier in the broadcast, and they were super pro Bricks before they started something else. And now they're less pro Bricks, which is ironic because they were really pro Bricks for a while. And I tried to use Bricks like 3.5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and I was like, this doesn't work. And then I went back like a year later, and I like forced myself into it, and I was like, this really does work. It's so I've got a few projects. My Mañana No Mas site is actually built on Bricks, so the page builder that I choose to use for my own business is Bricks. I've been real happy with it. Mike's got a series of questions, so we're going to run through a couple of things here. Second question, I'm using the Labs plugin to try and turn off the authors and instructors icons. When I turn them off, it doesn't do anything on the page. That's a weird one. Labs should turn off instructors and authors on your course page. Where are you? I guess maybe I need a follow-up. Here it says, the reason I'm turning this off is because there's two images being rendered. Yeah, so it looks like in the page builder, you're getting a duplicate of information that'll happen sometimes with the page builder. So turning it off in the Labs is a good option. You also might need to do like a CSS delete.
Yeah, I would do a CSS delete. Elementor used to have issues with Lifter displaying like two featured images years ago. I would assume there are similar kinds of issues with Bricks where you're triggering old Lifter PHP template content, which is what will be modified when you use that Labs plugin. We're turning off PHP hooks, or we're using we're using hooks to turn off actions there. That's what checking those boxes does. But yeah, CSS is going to be the most foolproof way to go, especially update proof. And I only recommend that for if you're using Bricks with Lifter, you're already in this, what I would consider advanced implementer category of user. You have enough experience with WordPress to understand loops and maybe enough experience with code to be able to do things in CSS. So if you're already in that territory, I would recommend allocating as much functionality to that territory as possible, just for the ease of other people working on the project. That's a common thing because I know a bunch of programmers, we talked about this last week, I think, who come out of college with CS degrees or very experienced CS people like computer science, and they don't know how to interact with WordPress, much less Lifter. So if you have your Lifter Labs having some functionality, you have your CSS having some functionality, you might as well relegate as much as possible, especially if it's simple, to the CSS. because more people are going to be able to work with that. You have to be a lifter expert and a CSX expert if you're going to kind of cross the two over. That's how I think about it.
Indeed, indeed. I'm looking on a map right now. I'm trying to find that place that I was telling you about. It's really bothering me that I can't find it. I haven't been there, obviously, in forever. So now I'm wondering if it went out of business. I sure hope it didn't, because there was Manal, there was Montgomery, there was Academy, Paseo del Norte. I used to drive on Paseo del Norte all the time. Course Boulevard. I know everybody that is on with us right now is going, Kurt, get a grip, man. It's not that important. It is that important. I love food. Love food. I got to find it for you. Really good burger. Really good burger.
Yeah.
All right. Mike says thanks. We've Compass Rose Consulting is back. They've come up before with questions for us. Here we go. Is there a way to have a lesson be paid separately from the course? That answer is no. That answer is no. This question came up before, and I don't know if it was from Compass Rose or if it was from someone else like 2-3 weeks ago. The idea of separating the lesson from the course is like a no-go in LifterLMS. Like the course is the entry point, the lessons are beneath it. Then I think, and again, maybe it was just a different user with a similar question. We had the talk of like, you could say, take our sample. Like you could say, take this lesson as a sample and you could offer it for free. You could do that, offer it as a free lesson. You could start a new course, right? And say sample course with using a lesson from course A or whatever. And then you could add an existing lesson to that course as a one lesson course. You could do that. And then you could sell that. You could sell that lesson as a duplicated lesson in a separate course. So, there's a million ways to work around something. You could take that single lesson course and you could make it part of a lead magnet and say, like, those who fill out this form or purchase this also get access to this lesson. And then it's just a single lesson course. You could do that. But if it's part of a pre-existing course and you're looking to just say, hey, give me $15 and you can take this lesson by itself as part of this larger course, LifterLMS isn't set up that way. You're not able to do that. Mike comes in and says, hey, this might be a dumb one. Not a dumb one, Mike. We see all kinds of things. So the sign in and sign out display appropriately with that functionality, but the dashboard is always in my navigational menu. How do I handle that? You could just take the dashboard out of your navigation menu and just use the sign in and sign out to send people to the dashboard. If somebody is signed out, sign in, it bumps them into the dashboard because it's a dynamic component. And so that's one way to do it. But I know that a lot of people like having the dashboard in their navigational menu as a full-time feature because there's times when somebody signed in and they want to go to their dashboard to update their billing or look at a certificate. Or if you have people that are going to courses that aren't part of a main course catalog, then they access their courses through their dashboard. And so having access to the dashboard has its value, although I know a lot of people that remove it. Like, it just depends on your use case. Is it a single course website? Maybe you don't need a dashboard. Are you giving certificates? Maybe you don't need a dashboard. But for people that are giving certificates, have multiple courses, or are giving people access to hidden courses or cohort versions of courses, they're probably going to want to have their dashboard be active. What I've seen a lot of clients do is they will extend their footer to have an additional separate navigational menu. So maybe your main navigation menu at the top of the page is like home, about, contact, sign in, sign out. And then maybe your footer dashboard is going to have things like terms and conditions, refund policy, dashboard, support link, and contact us or something. So there's different ways to kind of move those elements around within the site. I personally love the sign in and sign out feature as a dynamic feature. And I typically move the dashboard access in my clients' websites down to a separate footer menu is how I typically handle that. Yeah. And he says, yeah, the client likes having it there. Yeah. And it seems like a duplication sometimes because dashboard and sign in basically do the same thing. But once the customer is signed into the website as an end user, some of them like to leverage that dashboard link to get to other things. And if they're already signed in, to get to the dashboard, it would require them to sign out and then sign back in, which might make sense to us, but doesn't make sense to a student. And so at the end of the game, one of the core values of LifterLMS is to always think of the student journey first. And so we want to think in terms of things that reduce the friction for the student as much as possible. I got a couple of different ways I'm thinking about this now. Just didn't know if it was a dynamic feature as well. Yeah, there's a couple of things in LifterLMS when you start to explore that are super dynamic. Sign in, sign out, and dashboard. That's a great example of a dynamic feature. Another dynamic feature is, and I run into this with people that are using SCORM content. The mark complete button is also the take the quiz button and also the start the assignment button. And so when you have assignments and you have quizzes and you have that mark complete option, you're going to see that button behave in different ways for different people in different times within the website. And so the administrator might see it as like this mark complete button that never goes anywhere, right? But a student's going to see it as a quiz button or a start assignment button. And so that's why it's important when you're in LifterLMS, when you're in there as an administrator, at the admin, what do we call that? The admin bar at the top of the page, at near the right side of that, you're typically going to see view as with a drop down. View as yourself, view as a student, view as a visitor. It's kind of important to know that that's there, because periodically you might want to say, oh, view this as a student, view this as a visitor, just to see what you see. For instance, on a course page, you might have your page set up to show, there's another dynamic issue, right? Set up to show the access plan, like sign up for this course, $500. But if you're already signed up for the course for $500 and you view that as a student, right, an enrolled student, you shouldn't see that access plan on the course page. And so it's really good just to go through the website as a visitor, as a student, dynamically, to be like, okay, I don't see the access plan. Perfect. Go in as a visitor. I do see the access plan. Perfect. And it's just good to check that stuff over. Sometimes page builders can have, I don't want to say conflicts, that's too harsh of a word, but sometimes things will pop up that you don't expect to see. And it's good to know that and then mediate those issues. Mike Jennings says, thank you. Mike, you're very, very, very welcome. Emily, I'll be right back. If I told you what I was going to do, you would think it would be a waste of time.
Is it going pee?
No, but I'm going to go ask my wife. Ask my wife if she remembers the name of that burger place. Be right back.
No, I don't think that's a waste of time. But yeah, so I had something here. Like Kurt said, this setup is a little complicated, so the simple answer is no, this is not possible, but the more complicated answer is yes. If you're dead set on doing this, where you have people pay for lessons individually or pay for the course entirely, and my connection might break up a little bit, so I'm going to talk slower. What you might consider is having a membership that gives you access to the full course. So you have your course with curriculum. You have one membership that just auto-enrolls you into the course. That's going to be your full course access. And then you could have a bunch of other memberships. And this is assuming you're just using Lifter out of the box. You'd have a bunch of other memberships that are for individual lessons in that course. Now, we wouldn't use a membership catalog in this example because the membership catalog would be flooded with confusing information. You would have one full course access and you would have a bunch of individual lessons. But if you were to create the user experience manually to say, hey, you can buy any of our individual lessons. Here's a list of the available memberships, or maybe even buttons to purchase each lesson individually. You could do that, or buy the full course for the full course membership. So you can use memberships to buy access to individual course content. Now, the nuance here is that we would use the block visibility feature, and I'm thinking again, LifterLMS out of the box, WordPress out of the box. And if you want to see a demo of this, let us know in the chat. But there is a block visibility feature on Lifter where you can say, if you are going to see the blocks that are on the page in this lesson, you must have access to one of these two memberships. You must either have the full course access membership, or you might have the individual lesson access membership, and then you can do that for every single lesson. This setup is going to be more complicated than an out-of-the-box traditional Lifter setup, but it is possible with Lifter out of the box. And if you were to add SureCart or WooCommerce, it can be even easier because your e-commerce system is now separated from Lifter. But it's possible with Lifter, just in case you were like set on doing that. Are you back, Kurt? Do you know the burger place?
I'm starting to wonder if he went out of business.
Oh no.
I don't know. Because they got they have Whataburger there, right? But you're going to see that in Texas anyway. So Blake's Lotta Burger is Albuquerque. So if you go to Lotta Burger, you want to go to Blake's Lotta Burger. But I can't find like where Potato Corner is not the name. It's been a while. I mean, it's been a while since I've lived there. Maybe they just went out of business. I don't know. It was really good. The Burger Den, Coors, Caveman's Burgers. I've never been there. I don't know what that is. Don't go there. That sounds crazy. All right. I'm sorry. I've wasted everybody's time with this nonsense.
No, that's okay. We have the forbidden burger place that we'll locate. Every call we could spend like.
There's a place called Fat Burger. That's further south.
A place called Fat Burger?
Fat Burger, yeah. And then there was a place that came up called Holy Burger. And I thought to myself, because it says it's and not for nothing, but the guy did belong to our church, and I thought, well, maybe that's it. Maybe he changed his. But I looked at the menu, and that's not the same place. So that's not it. Maybe he went out of business. It was a great burger. Oh, it was so good, but it wasn't cheap either. And I remember going there with the family, and we were young with kids, and I was like, "This is a lot of money to get a cheeseburger." Like, I didn't see how that would be like sustainable long term. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it gets unhealthy after a while.
Well, I'm not talking about unhealthy from eating burgers. I mean, from a business perspective, like,
oh
yeah, like it's a great burger. It's a great burger, but this is back when like $12 for a burger was a lot of money, right? Now,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. Now $12 for a burger is like entry level. We have food trucks here in Kansas. Like, we have a really low cost of living in where we live. I live in Hutchinson, Kansas. Part of the reason we moved here, low cost of living. And you go, oh, low cost of living, it's great. And then food trucks come to town. Me and Heidi went and got lobster rolls from a food truck, and it was like $50 for lunch from a food truck. Like, dang. And they weren't even good. It was horrible food. Horrible food. It was horrible. But there's a couple of taco trucks in town here that are phenomenal. If you ever come through Kansas, I can turn you on to some good Mexican food.
Nice.
Now everybody around us knows. Oh, Kurt's a foodie. All right. Rolf says hi. Did you say hi to Rolf yet? We'll be seeing Rolf in about an hour and 5 minutes. I did do a Google search, Delphine. I did do a Google search. I looked at this big giant map of all the burger places in Albuquerque, and I'm not seeing it. I even did the AI mode, and AI mode was like, go to Bob's Burgers, Doghouse Drive-In. That's like a historical place there, a Doghouse Drive-In on Central Avenue. It's like a little crappy hole in the wall that sells burgers. The lucky goose. Nope. There's no. I don't know. I'm wasting your time.
No, it's okay. I can, we got Laguna Burger, the Cosmos Restaurant, Stacker's Burger.
Where would be, so Blake's Lotta Burger is like, that's like a regional staple. That's like going to California and going to In-N-Out Burger, right? So Blake's Lotta Burger would come highly recommended just from a cultural standpoint. But then the Frontier restaurant on Central, that would be like if you're going to go check something out, you just need to go check that out. All right, here's one. We can do this one pretty quickly. How can I change the standard blue branding on emails and course buttons? And I think that is just showing people where the Lifter Labs is. We could do that pretty quick with what we have left, right?
Yeah.
I'll put it in the comments just so that people see it. They wrote it in a long way, but she's in Australia. It's 4 a.m. in Australia.
Whoa.
Not a problem, Sheila. I don't know if she's a Sheila or not. I'm going for it. I'm being crazy. I don't really know that Lifter Labs doesn't change the color in the emails too, does it?
I think it might. I think it does. There's that blue color in the emails that I believe is changed through Labs.
Yeah.
I think it uses the variable, one of those blues.
Yeah. So that would be a good thing to see. And then she says, is the reporting menu the quickest way to find out what students are enrolled and to see what their progress is? I think the reporting menu is one of the best ways to go take a look at students. And the person asking this question, that they're Lindahl. Lindahl is their name. So, I think reporting is one of the best ways to do it. Now, if you're curious as to like, you have a course and you're like, hey, which students are registered for this course? You go into the edit the course page, and at the bottom is a listing of all the students enrolled in the course. But I think if you're looking for course completions and you're looking for progress, then you definitely want to go through reporting.
Yeah.
Cool. She has like 17 questions in one line. Is there a way that I can employ some logic to say that if they are already logged in, don't display the register form? That logic's already in place. That's one of those dynamic features. So we have that. And you're saying it shows up with both overlapping. If you have like the login and the register form and they're doing like a weird thing, that's going to be something to do with your theme, because it's dynamic content and we typically adapt to the theme. So that's going to be something in your theme. You could probably change spacing with CSS or something like that if you needed to. I don't know.
Yeah.
That kind of puts us near the end of our day there.
Yeah. And on that last question, if you are seeing a registration form for people who are logged in, that's suspicious. Might be caching, might be some other issue. You should not see registration if you're logged in.
Yeah, we did have a question that I didn't cover yet, and I think I could cover it really, really quickly. Someone had written in and they said, can LifterLMS be used to register people to an online conference that will later be used for a self-paced online course? And that's from Lynn. Lynn, I am one of those people that have been a long-term user of LifterLMS, and I have found multiple ways to misuse this platform for personal gain. This is one of those examples. Like, quite literally, you could have people sign up for a membership, and on that membership page, you could say, here are the details to our online conference, this date, this time, this link, right? So you could do all that through membership. And then what's really cool is that forthcoming online course you're talking about, you could add that course and then add it to that membership with auto enrollment, and then auto enroll existing users. Like, your whole workflow is covered just by using the membership thing. And so that's one way that you could use Lifter to really run that for you. Again, if it's a one-off, online scheduled thing, you could do that through a membership page, and then to hold your live conference, your live whatever, right? And then when that creates that course, add the course, put it into the membership, and then auto enroll existing members into that course. Works really well. That's a good workflow. Anything you want to finish with, Emily? We're already in overtime.
No, I'm gonna go talk to my Airbnb host about how she's doing okay. How are you? But are you good?
I'm good. I'm great. I'll see you in office hours. For people that have the Universe and the Infinity bundle, we do a shared screen example of this kind of meeting, but all on Zoom. And we start that in about an hour. So we'll see those people there. And folks, we'll see the rest of you next week. Have yourself a great week. Bye-bye. Puppies! That's a Chihuahua.
He's only got 3 legs.
Yeah, that's okay. It's not that heavy. Ask him, say, ¿Dónde está la chalupa?
¿Dónde está la chalupa?
Are you old enough to remember that Taco Bell commercial?
I don't.
Yeah, someone at Taco Bell got fired over that one. They had the little dog that would speak Spanish, and then people got mad. They said it was cultural appropriation or something. But he used to say, "¿Dónde está la chalupa?"
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let you go. We'll see you in an hour.
We'll see you in an hour.
See you, folks. Bye-bye.